Hey, it's Tippy. I recently got a drawer organizer and all of my art stuff that's in my other organizer that's like plastic and blue. I want to switch over to the new one that I got, which is 5 drawers, and it's white and it matches everything else in my apartment, and it's not deep like the one that I have right there, so there's not stuff piled on top of each other. So I'm gonna just set that all up today. Okay, I'm just watching Bailey's vlog for today, so ignore that. But this is my current setup that I have right now underneath there, and that is what I'm gonna switch it to. One of those like white ones that's like IKEA-esque looking thing. This one is so deep that, like, if I put my hand on it, like, it's so deep that there's things piled on top of each other in there. So I do have some organizers in there, but yeah, that's that's what it looks like. So we're gonna build this one, empty this one, put everything in there, and then I also got some drawer organizers. I wasn't sure how many I would need, but I just bought this pack from Amazon, so we're going to use this. Plus, I do have some in there somewhere. There's a couple of organizers in there, so we're going to use them together, and hopefully it'll all just fit perfectly in my new one. I'm so excited. I've wanted one of these for so long, and I'm finally going to get it. So the rest of this is probably going to be a lot of, like, speeding of me doing the thing, putting together. So, oh, no, it's not. Yes, because I'm going to put this together, and then we'll empty that. So, see you when that's put together. We're losing light pretty fast, but the drawer is done. Hi, Basil. Hi, baby. Okay. Very nice. Nicely, it was packed very nice. There's no dings, there's no dents. Everything is intact. All of the parts were there. I will say, though, as someone who's built a lot of furniture, it wasn't, like, super hard for me to build, but for someone who hasn't put furniture together before, their directions are dismal. Like, they should have came way better than that. Nothing was labeled. Like, none of the parts were labeled. I just had to look at the picture and try to figure out which part was which part. So nothing was labeled, which was not helpful, but, you know, kind of done. But if someone doesn't normally put furniture together, this is going to be troublesome. I did decide to leave the wheels off just because I don't think it'll be... I don't like wheels on furniture, number one. And number two, I think it'll be too tall if I put them on. That's what I was, like, trying to decide earlier. I was like, wait, wheels? I don't need those. So I don't want it to be too tall because it has to fit underneath the desk. Also, I don't like wheels on furniture, so there's that. This baby, they were just all over this thing, huh? You guys were just having a blast. All right, so before we lose all the light completely, we're just going to open up these drawers so you can see what's in here. So this top drawer has this piece of Teflon that came with my heat press. Some inks inside of these. I'm just going to take out so you can see. This one compartment, like I said, I did have some drawer organizers already, but they're like stacked on top of other ones. So this compartment has some inks and some like random pens. These I use all the time. The Signal Uniball white pens. And then just some random pens. It's like a crayon, so I need to go through all that junk. These are the microns that my father bought me recently. Those I bought for myself. I have this brush that I never use for anything. This ink is defective, so I marked the top of it. So that way I know this is the defective one. It just doesn't get dark. I'm going to try scraping the bottom and see if that helps, but it's like gray and not black. So, defective. This was my cheap watercolor set. The top is right here, which I painted in because I used it as a palette for some acrylics. This is my brown ink. Anyways, this is basically just markers and pencils and writing stuff up here. And there's some more drawer organizers, and there's a large one down there full of Crayola markers that I should get rid of because I don't ever use those and they're probably dry. I have a bunch of little palettes right here that are like half wiped out that I use all the time. These Sharpies, and this is my go-to section right here. These are all my microns, which I grab all the time. My pencil that I sketch with, and my eraser. So this is my go-to section, and everywhere else I rarely use, besides the inks, obviously. So I need to go through all this. This second drawer. These are new. I just stuffed them in there recently. So some more paintbrushes that I bought. Black paint. These were cheap. I think I did a challenge with these like cheap markers. I don't remember. I probably did a challenge or something. More brushes because I always need those. More cheap markers. More black acrylic paint because this is what I paint my manifestation boxes with. I use this a lot for those. So yeah, I always need more of this, which is why I have a couple of these. Paper towels that I put in here because I don't like to throw them out if they're not completely messed up, and so I use these over and over again when I'm painting and stuff. Sanding block. Oh, I was supposed to do a challenge with these. I haven't used them yet. I got these from Five Below, and they were $3, and I wanted to try out these cheap brush pens. I was supposed to do a challenge with these, and I forgot. So this was supposed to be my acrylic house, but it turned into a bunch of other things. There's clay, glue, and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have to get into that. This bottom one I think was like the crafting section. So I have like a ruler, this protractor that I never even opened. These I also use when I use like acrylics. I use these and then I just wash them. Obviously the acrylics don't come out because it's acrylic paint, but they're clean. So I wash these. Glue gun, brush holder, more of these. These giant pencils I was supposed to send to my niece and nephew and never did. Maybe I'll do a giant pencil challenge, who knows. And down here I have, I don't think I bought these. Did I? Oh yeah, I did. These are the cheap watercolors, which I'm probably never going to use again, but they still feel okay, so I'll keep them. And then I have my wood burner, which I do use. This engraver, which I did a challenge on. I don't know, I'll probably use it again in the future. Tiny glue gun. All my glue sticks right here. These are my colored inks, which should be higher because I actually use these way more than I use anything in this drawer. So these should not be this low in here because I use them quite a bit. My X-Acto knife, my other X-Acto knife, the giant glue sticks. There's just a lot of junk in here. I think these are wipes, but I'm pretty sure they're all dry. They are. They're all completely dry. Something else is back here. Oh, sanding stuff. And some more paints. So we're going to clean this whole thing out. And I got some new organizers and we're going to do the thing. So cue the sped up part. And here is the after shot. I have to say, I think it looks really good. Like I said, it goes with the rest of my furniture in my house. It kind of looks like that drawer thing above it. So, very nice. Let's take a look and see what's inside. On top, there's still just my vinyl, my Teflon, and my Cricut mats. And then, oh, you can't really see it. Let's see if I can get some light up in here. Oh, you can't really see it. So I pulled it out from the wall so you can see what's inside of it. This top one has my paintbrushes, the pens that I use the most, everything I use the most, paintbrushes, micron pens, white gel pens, and my inks, erasers. The second drawer has my colored inks. These are like colored pencils and colored pens. These are unopened markers and microns, unopened stuff over here. These cheap markers, unopened box of microns on my little palettes in this watercolor palette. Excuse me, Basil. Thank you. And then I have just regular pens right here. Mechanical pens. These are all, mechanical pencils. These are the markers I sometimes use for accents in my art. And then these are all permanent markers. I just did that one. This one. This I haven't used yet. This was for a video. These are alcohol markers, I think, but I didn't use those yet. These are clay, some paintbrushes, some unopened paintbrushes, all of my acrylic paints, some Mod Podge. Put this back in here. I only use these when I do my manifestation boxes, so it doesn't need to be like super readily available because I don't always paint those. And this bottom one is still like the crafting center, so glue for the glue gun, all my little things like scissors, my burner, protractor, just like little things like that. The giant glue gun, and then these other paints that I use for my manifestation boxes, which I don't always do, and this ruler that I kind of use like almost every day. I don't know what I usually do with it, but I'm always seems to be reaching for it. And that is the final setup of this really pretty thing. Like I said, if you've never built furniture before, this probably would not be the easiest thing to put together, but it's still not like super complicated. But I wish they just had labeled things a little better and that the instruction packet was a little bit more clear, but I'm happy with it. Okay, bye.